Poverty takes many forms across the globe. In this revealing countdown, we examine the 10 most economically challenged nations where daily survival often overshadows long-term development. While each country faces unique struggles, from political instability to environmental crises, their stories reveal both resilience and urgent need for support. If you believe knowledge drives change, subscribe now for more eye-opening countdowns about our planet's toughest realities. Some truths are hard to face, but necessary to understand. Together, we start with number 10, Burundi. Nestled in East Africa, Burundi faces systemic challenges despite its fertile land and tea exports. With a GDP per capita under $250, over 65% of its population lives below the poverty line. Political instability since the 2015 crisis has hindered development, while reliance on subsistence agriculture leaves families vulnerable to climate shocks. The country also struggles with one of the lowest electrification rates in Africa, with only 11% of households having access to electricity. Youth unemployment exceeds 65%, driving many to seek opportunities in neighboring countries. Number 9. South Sudan. The world's youngest nation. 2011 has been ravaged by civil war and flooding. Oil accounts for 90% of government revenue, yet most citizens lack electricity or paved roads. A staggering 82% of South Sudanese survive on less than $1.90 per day, and 60% face acute food insecurity. The literacy rate stands at just 35%, one of the lowest globally, due to decades of interrupted education systems. Seasonal flooding now affects over 1 million people annually, destroying crops and spreading waterborne diseases. Number 8. Central African Republic, CAR. Rich in diamonds and gold, CAR's wealth hasn't translated to prosperity. Decades of coups and militia conflicts have displaced 25% of its population. The healthcare system is critically underfunded. Only 3 doctors serve every 100,000 people. Road infrastructure is virtually non-existent outside the capital, Bangui, isolating rural communities. Illegal wildlife poaching has surged as armed groups exploit natural resources to fund their activities, further destabilizing the nation. Number 7. Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. Despite vast mineral wealth, the DRC remains trapped in cycles of conflict and poverty. Nearly 73% of its 95 million people live on less than $1.90 per day. Eastern regions suffer persistent violence from over 100 armed groups vying for control of mineral-rich territories. The country hosts Africa's largest internally displaced population at 6.9 million people. Recent discoveries of cobalt reserves have sparked foreign investment, but also raised concerns about exploitative mining practices. Number 6. Niger, landlocked. Niger battles desertification and rapid population growth. With 42% of children suffering chronic malnutrition, it has the highest fertility rate globally at 6.9 births per woman. Uranium exports provide limited revenue, while climate change shrinks arable land annually. Terrorist groups operating across the Sahel region have forced the closure of hundreds of schools in border areas. The government now allocates 20% of its budget to security, diverting funds from social programs. Number 5. Chad. Chad's oil-dependent economy collapsed when global prices plummeted in 2014. Today, 87% of Chadians lack access to basic sanitation, and life expectancy hovers at just 54 years. The Lake Chad Basin crisis has displaced 5 million people across 4 countries, straining resources. Military expenditures consume 30% of the national budget due to regional security threats, leaving little for healthcare or education. Droughts have reduced the lake's size by 90% since the 1960s, devastating local fisheries. Number 4. Liberia. Still recovering from civil wars and Ebola, Liberia's institutions remain fragile. Nearly 84% of the population lives below $3.20 per day, and only 27% have access to electricity. The education system was particularly devastated, with 60% of schools destroyed during conflicts. Illegal logging continues to deplete rainforests that cover 43% of the country. Recent offshore oil discoveries have raised hopes, but corruption concerns persist in resource management. Number 3. Madagascar's unique biodiversity hasn't prevented extreme poverty for 75% of Malagasy people. Cyclones annually destroy infrastructure in vulnerable coastal communities. Vanilla exports bring revenue, but price volatility leaves farmers insecure. Deforestation has eliminated 40% of forest cover since 1950, threatening endemic species. The 2021 drought in the south created famine conditions for 1.3 million people, with children suffering severe acute malnutrition. Number 2. Burkina Faso. Escalating jihadist violence has displaced 1.7 million Burkinabés since 2019. Gold mining accounts for 80% of exports, but rarely benefits local communities. Over 40% of children experience stunted growth due to malnutrition. Climate change has shortened the rainy season by 30 days since 1980, reducing crop yields. The government now controls only 60% of national territory, with armed groups ruling vast rural areas. Number 1. Somalia. 3 decades of conflict have left Somalia without functional central governance. 70% of Somalis live on less than $1.90 per day amid recurring droughts and locust plagues. Piracy has declined, but illegal fishing by foreign vessels costs $300 million annually in lost revenue. The 2022 election marked progress, yet Al-Shabaab controls much countryside. Urban populations face some of the world's highest unemployment at 67% among youth. Remittances from diaspora communities provide a crucial lifeline, accounting for 23% of GDP.